Buying a downtown Seattle condo when Seattle was booming felt like a guaranteed win, but for a lot of those owners, trying to sell it in 2026 is a nightmare. In this video, I'll share Seattle homes that are practically worthless right now. The gap between homes that fly and homes that sit comes down to 5 things nobody warned these sellers about. All right, let's start with the one that looks great on paper and falls apart the second a buyer opens up the full cost breakdown. Condo in the mid 500s, downtown, nice finishes, rooftop deck, looks like a solid deal, right? But then the buyer does the math. They stack the HOA fees on top of today's mortgage rate. That mid 500s condo starts to feel like a $700,000 home in terms of what they're actually writing a check for every month. And the moment that happens, buyers may start looking at townhomes instead. Now in downtown buildings, you're often looking at somewhere between $800 to $1,800 a month just in HOA dues. Belltown runs similarly, South Lake Union too, and luxury high-rises with concierge services and sky lounges can push past $2,000 a month easily. You combine those numbers with rates in the mid 6% range and the total monthly payment just isn't competitive anymore compared to a townhome or a single-family home with 0 monthly dues. And buyers have real options right now. Condo inventory has opened up a lot, giving buyers the most leverage this segment has seen in years. So they're making the smart call and walking. The buildings taking the hardest hits are mid-rise and low-rise buildings without standout amenities. South Lake Union is a good example. That neighborhood was ground zero for the tech boom. Workers bought condos to be steps from Amazon's campus. When remote work hit and tech started cutting jobs, the demand that held those values up just disappeared. Beyond the monthly fees, there's a hidden problem that even experienced buyers miss: underfunded reserves and pending special assessments. A healthy HOA should be funded at 70% or more of its reserve target. Below 30% is a genuine red flag because when the roof needs replacing or the elevator needs work and the reserves can't cover it, the HOA comes to every unit owner with a one-time bill. We're not talking a few $100s either. We're talking 5 figures, sometimes $30,000, $40,000 or more per unit. So buyers who know what they're doing are asking for reserve studies before they even make an offer. When the numbers look thin, they walk. And new lender rules coming later in 2026 will make buildings with deferred maintenance even harder to finance, which shrinks the buyer pool even further. If you've got a condo and you're thinking about selling, get ahead of this. Have the financial documents ready, walk buyers through the reserve study before they ask. All right, quick pause here. If you're watching this and wondering where your own home falls in this picture, reach out to me directly. Link is in the description. I can walk you through a realistic picture of what your home is actually worth right now, based on what's happening in your specific neighborhood, not national trends, not last year's data. All right, let's keep going. Functionally obsolete 1940s to 70s fixers. There is a specific kind of Seattle bungalow that photographs beautifully, original hardwoods, mature trees out front, a generous lot, the bones of a different era. Buyers show up to the open house genuinely excited, then the inspection report lands and everything changes. We're talking about the specific tier of these homes that have been deferred and deferred and deferred again for good measure, where the character is real, but so are the skeletons hiding behind the walls. Knob and tube wiring, standard before the 1950s, is a full stop problem for most buyers today. Most insurance companies require it to be fully replaced before they'll issue a policy. Full rewiring in Seattle, where labor costs are among the highest in the country, run from low 5 figures on the easy end to well above that, depending on the size and complexity of the home. Then there's galvanized steel plumbing. These pipes have been corroding internally for decades. Lower water pressure, discolored water, and hidden leaks. The symptoms don't always show until an inspector opens a wall. And then foundations. Seattle sits in an active seismic zone, and many of these homes predate modern anchoring and cripple wall bracing requirements. When you start investigating uneven floors in an older home, you often find the real cause is foundation movement, which opens up an entirely new set of expensive conversations. So when buyers run the real numbers, purchase price plus renovation costs plus a genuine risk of finding something worse once the walls come open, most of them decide they'd rather pay more for something they can move into without a project list. Even investors are being more selective right now. So if you own one of these and you're thinking about selling, you've got 2 real choices. Fix the big stuff before you list, or price it low enough that buyers can clearly see the value in taking on the project. What you cannot do is price it like a renovated home and hope nobody notices. They notice every time. The next category has nothing to do with what's inside the home, and it's a one where no amount of renovation, staging, or price cutting fully solves the problem. These are bad location homes. Stand in the backyard of some of these listings and you understand the problem immediately. The traffic never really stops. It's just there. A constant hum that sellers have tuned out over years of living with it. Buyers hear it on their very first visit, and once they hear it, they can't unhear it. Arterial road frontage is the most visible one. Aurora Avenue, 50th Street, Beacon Avenue, 35th Ave Southwest. Homes fronting or immediately backing these roads deal with consistent noise throughout the day and into the evening, and they're standing in the backyard with traffic that never settles. They've already mentally moved on to the next listing. Highway adjacent properties face the same thing, sometimes worse. Commercial zone proximity adds another layer entirely. Homes next to commercial or light industrial zones make buyers nervous about what the neighborhood might look like 5 or 10 years from now. You can renovate a house, you can update the kitchen, refinish the floors, repaint everything, and stage it beautifully, but you cannot move it off the arterial. You cannot move it away from the freeway. And when buyers have 15 other houses to tour that weekend, half of them without this problem, they don't feel pressure to compromise. If you're selling a home in a tough location, price it to reflect reality. Lean into the compensating factors, lot size, recent updates, anything that makes the value equation feel honest for what a buyer is accepting. The first 3 categories were about hidden costs and the things you can't change. The next one is a different kind of frustration. These homes look perfect from the outside, but disappoint the moment buyers step through the door. Overpriced new construction with poor build quality is a killer. Walk into some of these brand new Seattle townhomes and something feels off. You can't always name it on the first pass, but by the time you've pushed on a cabinet door, felt the floor flex under feet, and stood in the 3rd floor kitchen wondering why you're climbing stairs to make coffee, you figured it out. Seattle's infill townhome market is flooded right now. Narrow, tall, built to maximize units per lot. A couple of years ago, when inventory was tight, buyers had no choice and these were moving. Now, with more options available, buyers are sitting in these layouts with minimal natural light and deciding that the price doesn't match the experience. In Washington State, regulatory costs alone account for nearly 30% of the price of a new home. Permits, fees, compliance are all absorbed before a single board is cut. With that much of the budget gone before construction starts, something has to give, and it is showing. Hollow interior doors that flex when you push them, thin flooring that sounds echoey underfoot, basic builder-grade fixtures throughout, cabinets that feel insubstantial the first time you open them. Hey, don't worry if you have one of these properties. I'll tell you what we can do to get more value from it in a sec. So, well-maintained resale homes with real hardwood floors, solid cabinets, and thoughtful original details are offering a quality per dollar comparison that a lot of new construction is losing. A well-kept home from the 20s in a good neighborhood can feel more substantial than a new townhome 2 blocks away at a higher price. If you're a buyer right now, you've got real negotiating leverage on new construction that's been sitting. Use it. And if you're selling new construction, understand that buyers writing checks in this market expect quality to match the price tag, and they can tell when it doesn't. The next category is the one that surprises sellers the most because it has nothing to do with finishes, fees, or location. These are choppy, dysfunctional floor plans. A buyer walks through their 10th home of the weekend, they walk in the front door, take one look around, lap through the main floor, and walk back out in under 4 minutes. The seller is stunned. The house has good square footage, the finishes are decent, and everything looks fine. So what happened? The floor plan didn't work, and in 2026, that's enough. The bedroom you walk through to reach the other bedroom just became the way things are. That kitchen, that sort of open concept, but separated by a strange half wall, stopped registering. But a buyer touring 10 or 12 homes in a weekend notices all of it within the first minute. And when they can't figure out where to sit, where to eat, or how to get to a bathroom without walking through a bedroom, they've already mentally moved on to the next listing. Square footage doesn't save a bad layout. A larger home with awkward flow will feel smaller and less usable than a well-designed, modestly sized home every single time. And buyers price their offers accordingly, or more often, they don't even make one at all. When a floor plan feels off, fewer buyers can picture themselves living there. A smaller buyer pool means more days on market. More days on market means the ones who do show up negotiate harder, and a home that's been sitting for 60 days starts picking up a stigma. Good staging helps though. A skilled stager can arrange furniture to make transitions feel more logical and minimize the visual weight of awkward areas. But staging can optimize a floor plan, it cannot cure a fundamentally broken one. So now that we've covered all 5 categories, the real question is, what do you actually do if you own one of these homes and you're thinking about making a move? None of these is an unfixable situation, but they all require a different strategy than the one that worked 3 or 4 years ago. The sellers who are struggling most right now aren't struggling because their homes are bad. They're struggling because they're still pricing for a market that no longer exists. Price it right from day one. The first 2 weeks are everything. If your listing isn't generating real showings within 10 to 14 days, the market is sending you a clear signal. Buyers see your price history. They see how long you've been sitting. Every extra day on the market transfers negotiating leverage from you to them, and build concessions into your plan from the start. Nearly half of sellers in this market are offering rate buydowns, repair credits, or closing cost assistance. Assume it's coming and factor it in up front. Make it as move-in ready as possible. Fresh paint, refinished floors, clean carpets, gutters and roof in good condition, every mechanical system documented and working. Buyers want to walk in and feel like they can move in without a to-do list. Professional staging is no longer optional if you're competing at higher price points. So control what you can. For condo sellers, get ahead of the reserve fund questions, have the documents ready before buyers ask. For fixer sellers, address the items that kill deals at inspection and price the remaining work into the listing. For bad location sellers, price to reflect reality and lean into whatever compensating factors you've got. The homes sitting right now aren't necessarily bad homes. They're homes that are misaligned with what buyers actually want in 2026. Close that gap on price, on condition, on strategy, and your home will sell. If you want my help with getting the best price possible out of your sale, email me at hello@mwagnerteam.com. I work with sellers in this exact position every day, and we'll build a real plan around what the market is actually doing, not what we wish it were doing. I've linked a video here about how to buy your next home before you sell your current home. If timing feels like your biggest obstacle right now, that strategy solves it. Trust me, watch that before you make any moves. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.